Welcome to today's New Life Live podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by you. Your donations make this podcast possible. Please consider donating today using the New Life app, visit newlife.com, or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, welcome to New Life Live. Glad you're with us here today. We are live today. Hope that you could join us today. 1-800-229-3000. I know it's not easy to call. 1-800-229-3000, but we might have some wisdom here. And joining me to produce wisdom from the Word and to the Word and all of that, Milan, Yerkovich, and Dr. Jill Hubbard. Hi, guys.
Well, hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Milan. I'm so glad to be on with you.
Me too. I'm glad to be with you guys.
Well, it's a great day for New Life, and anybody wanting to join you guys and me, it's 1-800-229-3000. That is the phone number. A couple things I want to mention. Milan and Steve and Kay, we'd love for Jill to come. But anyway, we're in Columbus, Ohio on October the 25th, and that's Intimacy in Marriage Intensive. If you've heard about this, you know it's just one of the best things that we do. It's my favorite workshop to do. Why? Because we don't just watch one person transform. We watch two people decide to do a little bit better individually and then together as a couple. And the results are really quite amazing. Some people are desperate. Others, they just want a better marriage. And they're always,
who doesn't
it seems
want
like
that?
No, right. And they seem to be quite astounded at the things we present that make marriages better. It just really does make some things.
It does.
They become aware of stuff that most people aren't taught.
Well, you talk about astounding. I think I am astounded at looking at people's faces on Friday at 3 o'clock and then listening to them Sunday at noon or at 11 o'clock. That 48 hours, the transformation in their countenance, their attitudes, the testimonies, it is amazing.
I thought you were going to say you are astounding because I hear that you are.
Well, he is.
Not that you would say that about
and
yourself.
You know
what? No, you know me. I'm very understated.
Yes, I know, but you are.
But it's true.
And the team there.
Yeah, Steve, you know that. You get to see those testimonies. That's the most thrilling part. Other than seeing you, the testimonies are the most thrilling part.
Yeah, and you're in Columbus. Can I just say I love Columbus? Yeah. The Easton Mall is wonderful. So if you do really well, then you can go on a shopping trip, right?
Yes.
And my whole, there's the Wild at Heart movement, my Mild at Heart movement. We meet at malls and shop together. So
Easton Mall, anyway, Steve.
Here's the thing that I think, I can't document this, but I think a lot of the men that are at the marriage intensive, when I meet them on Friday, I think inside they're going, I hate you for doing this and me getting into this. And then, but by Sunday, they're saying, "Oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you." And so people say, "Well, we're not going to go until he's really wanting to go." No, don't do that. It's our job whenever anybody comes to an intensive, to whatever got them there, to turn that motivation into a different perspective. Now, I want to shift subjects, but finally, I have to say on that, if you want a better marriage and you want to come right in the heart of the country, well, it's in Columbus. It's the 25th. It's on Friday, not this Friday, but the next Friday. You come join us. Call us. There is a special thing where you can come free. We've got a special group that we're forming. That's free. If you've got some challenges, there's scholarship money available also. You'll not know about any of that until you dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you want to be on radio, it's 1-800-229-3000. When we come back, I want to tell you about a special award our good friend John Townsend received last week. Pretty impressive. tell you about that after this. 1-800-229-3000. Dr. Jill Hubbard's here. Milan, Yerkovich, Steve Arterburn, and you for New Life Live. I'm glad you're with us here today. Hang on. We'll take a break. Come right back after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. And last week was the American Association of Christian Counseling meeting in Nashville. And it's an annual meeting. Really, it's where people come, learn, present, all of that. And John Townsend received a Lifetime Achievement Award with his leadership in the areas of leadership and helping others and transforming. And it's a big deal. And
yes, it is.
It was wonderful to watch him get that award. You could go to John Townsend or drtownsend.com, I think it is, or you could go to AACC, and maybe we can get the video on our website where you could see it and watch him get that award. But really impressive. You know, most of you know
John, wow.
That just like Milan, Jill, great gifts to this ministry. John and Henry, great gifts to this ministry. I felt so privileged to do what we do with them for so long. But anyway, congratulations, John. You are a Lifetime Achievement and really, really grateful for what you've done. All right, we're going to go to our phones now, 1-800-229-3000. We're in the studio for 2 hours, so let's talk with Lee. Lee is a female from Fort Wayne, Indiana, just up the road. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Okay, well, glad you called. What could we do to help you?
I am a pastor with a couple in premarital counseling. The woman discovered the man to be involved in hardcore porn. He has been addicted to porn for more than 10 years. I recommended that he seek professional counseling. I am fearful that if they go through with the wedding, that she will be condoning his addiction.
And she would be.
Ask the couple,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to ask the couple to I want to ask them to postpone their spring wedding plans.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the right thing to do?
It's part of a thing that would be the right thing to do. Counseling is not going to help him. He needs to get treatment. He can do that at our Everyman's Battle workshop. That's a weekend. If that isn't enough for him because he's really into it and can't and doesn't want to do what it takes to get out of it, then he might need more. But I don't know if you're really helping her think this through, if you even have doubts about this. But a man that's into hardcore pornography, he's not marrying a woman, he's marrying a body. You cannot be into hardcore pornography and understand a woman as a full, whole a creature of God. I mean, it's right. The objectification of women in like Playboy, things like that. That's horrible. But hardcore pornography is the abuse of women. It's horrible. It's worse than anything you could ever imagine. It's one thing that somebody looks at some hardcore porn 3 times, 4 times, to say that you're into it, he has no hope. Now, I'm not exaggerating. He has no hope of being a good husband to her. And if I were you, I would be telling them, you should not marry each other until he has gotten help, until he's got a year behind him, because what you're doing is you're minimizing something by saying you should delay it. I think you have to be more dramatic and say, this man is not qualified to be married until this is taken care of. And then once he takes care of it, oh my goodness, some guys that have been into pornography become the most amazing life partners forever. Jill, you have a comment.
Well, yeah, I think he's also setting up a false hope, because marrying her, they have this idea that somehow getting married is going to magically make their porn addiction go away. Right? Because now they have a lifetime partner. And then when it doesn't make it go away.
And it won't.
Right? It's just a matter of time. Then everything comes crashing down. And it is so devastating. So, Lee, you are in a good position to really make a difference in these people's lives by shining a light on it and not minimizing it, as Steve says. And really kind of predicting what the outcome will be, right? Yeah. If they marry.
There's a term for it. It's called the bifurcation myth. It's, I can be this way right up until I eat some wedding cake. I eat the wedding cake. Oh, now I have no lust for anyone else. I all of a sudden am able to nurture and appreciate a real woman. No. And in fact, I will tell you, 90% of the guys that think marriage is going to fix their porn problem, it escalates it. It doesn't fix it. It makes it worse. So oh my goodness. Well, if he was a heroin addict, you wouldn't say to her, I think you ought to delay your marriage. You'd say, no. But now if he got help and he was in recovery for a year, well, okay, you could talk again. But this is really, really important. How does she know about it? Did he confess it, or did she discover it?
She discovered it, and he was also in a compromising position.
What does that mean?
He was acting out. She caught him in the midst of it.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. I would tell her a 3-letter word, run. And then I would tell him, if you want to catch up to this running bride to be, who should not be at this point, go get help.
Yeah, this is
if he said,
sorry,
I just one final thing. If he said anything other than, I will do whatever it takes to win her heart, tell me who to call, tell me where to go, anything other than that, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. Yeah, Milan, go ahead.
Well, this is a case where the runaway bride is a good thing.
Yeah.
Where she's saying, I'm not going to do this at all. Now, this also has to be explored, Lee, to ask her, what will she do? Some people are so naive and also desperate that they don't have the courage to say no and to put on the brakes. And I would really work with her on this. She's shocked. It's horrifying to discover what she discovered. Her bubble has popped, and yet we need to explore what is this doing to her, because it's devastating. And because she has all this hope, and spring isn't that far away.
Oh, my gosh, and a girl and
she's
a wedding.
Exciting.
You know?
I know, she's so excited, and this is such...
And you convince yourself, he'll love me.
It'll be okay. I can help him.
Or he didn't mean it, and he says he won't, so I believe him, and he won't. But you know what? I bet there's more secrets. I bet you there's other things he's hiding from her.
Yep.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, and there it is. How can you have a relationship with somebody who isn't open and honest? Hadn't been honest up to this point. Getting married isn't going to help it. Lee, I'm going to do this. I'm going to send you 3 things. So you get the package. First of all, I'm going to send you the How We Love book with the workbook. Hand that to her and say, you need to discover how it is through this book that you were attracted to this man so that this doesn't happen anymore. Second thing I'm going to send you is the Worthy of Her Trust book. And I'm going to send 2 copies of that, one for you and one for her. She needs to read it and then give it to him and say, this is the standard right here. And we've got Every Man's Battle that I would just say to him, the minimal level of anything here is on November the 1st in Orange County, California. You need to be at Every Man's Battle. And if he's not willing to do that, then it's sad. I'm telling you, hardcore pornography is so addictive, and everything you need more and sicker, but you look at these women and what they have to go through to earn some money. It's so degrading. It's so sad. And here's what I tell churches. The men in your church, and supposedly about 60% of the men in the church are using pornography. That is a direct link to sex trafficking. You are supporting sex trafficking. Oh, really? Yeah, because a click has value. You click on something on the internet, you may not pay for it, but it has value. And they're promoting something else, and they get enough clicks, then now they can get some money from an advertiser that comes along. So I'm telling you, it's serious, and if you're struggling, why don't you get it taken care of and never have to struggle with it again? So glad you called, Lee. So grateful that you called. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out about Every Man's Battle. It's coming up. We do it every month. It's the only one that we do because the problem is so very serious. Let's talk to Maria, Louisville, Kentucky. WFIA is the station. Maria, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you guys?
Great. Let me give the number one more time. 1-800-229-3000. We'd love to talk to you now or in the next hour. Okay, what's going on, Maria?
Well, first let me just start off by saying that I just love your ministry and what you guys do. You've brought a lot of joy to my life, and I really appreciate you all, and I really enjoy listening to each and every one of you and your different opinions and views on things. What I wanted to say, if I could piggyback the first caller, the female, I'm in that situation now. I have a son. Actually, I have 2. But my oldest son, who is 46, has had a problem with drugs. I don't really know what the drug of his choice is. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably meth. He's been on and off of drugs for 20 years. He's been in 11 rehabs. And it's just getting to the point now where I'm a Christian, and he is too. But he has an apartment that is funded through the Coalition for the Homeless. And it's $30 a month. He can't even afford that. If it was 30 cents a month, he wouldn't be able to afford it. So where I'm at right now, to kind of make a long story short, is I have been helping him out religiously, just because he's been on the streets, he's lived on the streets numerous times.
Wait a second. Let me correct you. Let me correct you, okay? Real quick.
Okay.
You've been giving him money.
No, I don't give him money, but I do.
Okay. Well, you've been giving
apartment, groceries.
Yes. You've been giving him money in the form of groceries or whatever, and you said you've been helping him out, but none of that is helpful. He's a 46-year-old drug addict. See?
Yes.
And here's what our good friend Dave Stoop discovered when his son was a drug addict. And it's really a hard truth, but he was just talking about it with me this past week when we were presenting together. He discovered he wasn't doing it to help his son. He was doing it to make himself feel better because he felt so guilty about his son. I can relate
to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he said when he quit doing things to make himself feel better, he realized then he could help his son. And he asked his son about that, and his son said, when you stopped doing the stuff you were doing, then I knew you were serious. And it changed everything. So what's the question for us, Maria? What's the question?
But it hurt Dave to do that. I mean, it broke his heart.
So painful.
Yeah.
Well, and most of us
Yes.
our standards are not that low. Most of us can't fathom that somebody's standards could be that low. And so it pains us, but he has different standards than you do. He's willing to go that low to follow his drug use.
Yes, he is, and he's reached the bottom of the snake pit, so to speak. My question to you would be, he's probably going to be evicted in probably 2 weeks. How can I, because I have some medical issues, and he has some medical issues. I just know that he's not going to be alive long if he's on the street. I just know that. I feel it.
He doesn't have to be on the street. There's Salvation Army. There's the city mission. There's there are a lot of places that take people.
There are shelters you can check into daily.
Yeah. But
soup kitchens.
They might say, you have to go 24 hours without your drug, buddy. So I know this thing that he uses to manipulate you with, but it doesn't help.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Columbus, Ohio, October 25th to the 27th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Yerkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship, and then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
My wife asked me for the first time in 2011 if I would consider myself a sex addict, so I signed up. I'd read the Every Man's Battle book, and it was a great book, but the workshop, it was the experience that really was key for me. If they go to EMB, they're going to be in good hands. This is a safe place. They're going to be surrounded by men that simply walk the talk. The weekend leaders that they will go through this workshop with, they'll help them to get to the root of their issues. I've been through a number of well-preached sermons, listened to and read countless books, been to a number of seminars, but EMB for me it was a game changer. It truly saved my life. Being in this community, being in this workshop, being around these men will change them if they'll let them. You're going to encounter men that will meet you where you're at, and you will instantly walk into a safe place where they're welcome.
If you're struggling, call us. We don't want you to go on struggling. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn. Maria, we feel for you. We know how hard this is and how hard it's been at every single stage, and you've just done the things that you knew to do. But it's time to do something very, very different, so that there's some hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maria, this is going to sound very difficult, but what you have to do is walk away from your son and let him suffer the natural consequences of his behavior, his derelict behavior, his addictive behavior, his irresponsible behavior is something that there are natural consequences. You might lose him. It's very possible.
Yeah.
But you have to decide, am I going to continue to enable him? I mean, your very best for 46 years has been love and devotion, but now it's enabling, and that's not healthy. And so to learn and to be able to walk away, even realizing that I could lose him, because he's selected a lifestyle that is destructive, is a part of that choice, Maria.
Or even because you could lose him either way.
Sure.
And what you're doing isn't helping.
Mm-hmm. Right, Jill.
Right?
Okay.
So all of your efforts, and it doesn't mean that you haven't done enough. He's not been willing to make use of it.
Right.
No.
He hasn't been a good steward of your efforts.
His addiction has taken over. He's been in 11 rehabs. My gosh.
20 years his addiction has gone on.
Yeah. You've done everything, Maria.
Yeah. And others have received half of what you've done, and they got better, and he didn't. So now it's time to do something very, very different. And I really think God will honor the courage that you have. If you're not going to a codependency group, an Al-Anon group, I'm just begging you to get in. It really can change your ability to make the tough decisions.
Steve, that is an important thing you just said. She needs to be in a support group, and Al-Anon is perfect for this, to help her see her codependency and caretaking and rescuing.
That's right. Alex from Raleigh, North Carolina, Sirius XM Satellite Radio. How you doing?
Hello. Thank you guys for what you do.
You're welcome.
My son, 33 years of age, he passed away 2 years ago. And
how did he die?
My question would heroin.
Oh,
so sorry.
He, it is of our opinion, and that he didn't commit suicide, but he got hold of some bad stuff, and it killed him. But my question is, I'm a pastor, and we certainly did not want to enable him. It started out with marijuana. Dad, everything's okay. It's not that big of a deal, and it's nothing but a gateway drug to continue to chase that high. And it ended up with heroin.
Yeah.
But me and my wife were on the same page. We certainly prayed about it. We did not want to enable him. So, he was homeless. We were constantly saying, when you want to get cleaned up and want to get ready, we're going to be here for you.
Right. Did you have a question? Okay. What's the problem?
Yes, sir. Where can we, for your listeners, it's hard to find help for a man without it costing tens of thousands of dollars, which most people don't have. I personally called around, trying to get him help. He was willing to go, but we just couldn't find anywhere that would help him without a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah. Well, did you hear what I offered to the previous caller too? That Salvation Army has been helping drug addicts and alcoholics for years. In fact, their Pew Bible is Life Recovery Bible. But sadly, folks don't think of that in time. And of course, Youth for Christ,
Teen Challenge,
Teen Challenge, the city missions. These are things that have to come into play at some point when there isn't an affordable rehabilitation or recovery center that's there. And Alex, I'm so sorry that you lost your son.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I just, I would assume the reason I wanted to call, I would assume there's many others that are listening that just don't know where to turn to, or especially for a man.
Alex, there's another option. It's really hard for a pastor and people in the church, but
yes, sir.
Most counties offer services for mental illness and addiction, and they offer services, and you can find those services, but they're not necessarily Christian, but they still are trying to help people escape the clutches of alcohol and substance abuse. And so we must also be willing to look at the secular offerings as well.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I was willing to go anywhere. Just didn't know where to turn.
Yeah, we're so sorry, Alex. That's such a sad story.
Yeah, and I hope you're getting good help as a pastor, getting through it. That's got to be
so
sad
around you.
Yeah. Rough. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me send you Healing is a Choice. I don't know if you know about that book, but it's helped a lot of folks. And, we really feel for you. All right. Sooner we deal with things, the better. We all know that. 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back.
My wife had found me out through my past and my sexual addiction since I was a small child. It really gave me the opportunity to start digging into my past, start digging into my childhood, figure out what was causing me to feel the way I was feeling. Every Man's Battle will really give you that opportunity because all the guys there in that room are there for the exact same reason you're there. I don't want to be the reason that my kids are going to counseling. I don't want to be the reason that they begin to struggle with the same issues that I'm struggling with, and I've got to put an end to this. Yes, you can be different. God does love you. You can be forgiven for this, and there's a way out of this. But you have to acknowledge that you have to change, and that there's a problem.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to hand down something to another generation that just looks like pain and destruction. You can hand down redemption, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We do have a wonderful thank you present to every human being that supports this ministry. You could get our brand new devotional, 100 Days of Healing. It's really a beautiful book. We were giving them away at AACC. People loved it, and it's 100 days, great scripture, great devotional material, quotes that you'll love, and a prayer every day. It's part of the series, A Gift of Any Amount, and it's a great Christmas gift. I'll send this to you. If you join Club New Life, $30 a month is all it is. I'll send you all 100 days of character, peace, prayer, and then this final one, 100 days of healing. Also, a gift of $20 or more, and I will send you the perfect gift. This is the gift that solves everything for a grandparent, parent, aunt, or uncle. Because you give a gift that teaches a child the truth of Jesus Christ in a very cool and funny and enjoyable way, and then they think you're cool. So you give them truth, and they think you're cool. Solves everything. It's called Kirby McCook and the Jesus Chronicles. The subtitle, A 12-Year-Old's Take on the Totally Unboring, Slightly Weird Stuff in the Bible, including fish guts, wrestling moves, and stinky feet. That's the book. It's funny. I've got pictures of kids that hate reading finishing this book. It's a Bible story book for this day and age. It solves everything. Call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, $20, and I'm signing them right now for some great kids that are going to think Grandmom and Granddad are really cool people. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you can help us, those are the ways that we're going to thank you. Let's go to Lisa, Washington, D.C., WAVA. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi. Yes. My issue is that I suffer from hoarding and clutter, and it's paralyzing my life. And I have been diagnosed with major depression and have been getting therapy for some years now.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to figure out how to get help. I don't know how to get help. I at one point I did have someone helping me from the National Professional Organizers, but I no longer have a steady income. I just work part-time jobs, so my income, varies from month to month. And I just don't know what to do.
Okay.
It's paralyzing my life. I can't have anyone over.
Sure. Now, let me ask you this. From the help that you've gotten, what do you think is the reason that you're a hoarder and other people aren't? Have you come up with a pretty good assessment of why that might be?
I guess I have issues with letting things go, and
well, of course,
the
result is hoarding. But why is it that you would have issues with letting those things go? That's at the next level down. Has anybody helped you try to figure that out?
No. Maybe because.
Because what? What do you think?
Maybe because I always feel like I might need it, or I might use it, like that kind of mentality.
But why? But why was the question that you would feel that way when someone else would say, "Oh, I don't need this. I've got 7 of them," or "Oh, I can always go get that." But you keep everything, and the beginning, I think, of hope is getting to that why.
So can I throw out an idea?
Jill,
go ahead.
Jill's got an idea.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe it's a subconscious way of blocking things out.
Yeah.
Of my life.
Blocking things out of your life? That's what you're saying?
Blocking.
Mm-hmm. So there's things you want to keep out of your life, so you hoard? Because
I don't know. I mean, like,
Lisa, I'm wondering if it has to do with loss.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it could.
Right?
Yeah.
Letting go then because it becomes symbolic of losing out. Not having the life perhaps that you wanted, that you had hoped for. And so clinging to things.
Yeah, tell us the most painful loss you've ever dealt with.
Probably, losing my grandmother was one. And then also, I went through some issues with I had a very good full-time job, and I had to walk away because it was mentally and emotionally killing me. So it's just been really hard rebuilding my life since that happened 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then
is that when the hoarding started, or has it been a lifetime of hoarding?
I think it's been a lifetime of it. It's just now I have my own place. So it's like everywhere.
Right. And it kind of, as you move along in life, it builds up. Right? I don't know how old you are, but by midlife, it's a lot of stuff.
I'm in my 40s. I'm 45.
Yeah, it starts to really build up. And, we all have ways in which we are kind of predisposed to coping, kind of our default mechanisms, that then when things happen in life come to, rise to the top. This is yours, it sounds like. I don't know if there's other things you do, but people get into all kinds of addictions, but this is yours. And so this is where your brain goes as well. So then you add loss in there, and you are trying your best to cope, to have something that's meaningful. And if you let go of these things, you might really be without anything. And that might feel terrible. And it also becomes a way to insulate you. You say you can't have friends over, so then you become more and more isolated, hence you get more and more depressed. right? And you feel really, I mean, people tend to feel really weighed down and heavy in the midst of it. It's depressing being in a cluttered environment. And one of the things they say about de-stressing is decluttering. You know, have you ever been to Clutterers Anonymous?
No.
Okay, it's a free group. It's a great. There are some really good groups. Again, you have to find the one that maybe has the personality, you know, that fits you. But they have really great materials. Even if you look online, Clutterers Anonymous has great materials.
And Lisa, just another quick question. I take it you're not married. Any thoughts on that? Do you think like you were called to be single, or have you had problems with relationships?
Yeah, I have had problems with relationships. I've had problems with like relationships in terms of romantic relationships and relationships like in friendships. Yeah.
So Lisa,
and I do want to get married, but whatever.
So Lisa, Steve asked you this question earlier, but I'm going to reframe it. What losses did you experience as a child?
You know, I really don't know.
Were your parents available to you? Were your parents available to you?
I think so. I mean, they're still married, happily married. I guess, like, I just went through, I guess my parents were very critical of me, you know, when I was growing up, and I had issues with my weight.
Okay. So you see, that is a loss. That's what Steve was asking about earlier. You know, yes, you have been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, but critical parents create tension, fear, and anxiety in a child, and then we find comfort by eating, or we find comfort by collecting, or we find comfort by organizing. And so I think it's important that you look further back maybe than you're looking.
I found Milan. Of course, you know I've struggled with eating. We find comfort either from stuff or from stuffing ourselves. And we can only stuff ourselves so much. Now we bring around the stuff. And oh my goodness, there's a way out, and when you find it, you're free, and you're free indeed. So, Lisa, I hope and pray something we've said here has helped you. You're going to have to get some help. Community counselor, going to Clutterers Anonymous. I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back. That's a start. It's all about recovery and surrendering this addiction to stuff.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realized that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C. November 15th to the 17th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Last year, after Every Man's Battle, I was so moved by the transformation that I saw, not only in myself, but in the guys in our small group and the other people that were there and the stories that I heard, that I decided to go ahead and join Club New Life as a contributor to that.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
You guys are doing God's work here. You're restoring marriages. You're giving people hope. It's just been such a blessing to me, and I just wanted to encourage you all. When you see something good that God's doing, just jump on that and help support that.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433.
Give your support to them if you can, and just help them do what God's doing here in the world.
Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We were just on with Lisa, the hoarding, so complex and things that she needs to do. Milan, you had some very specific direction at the break you were talking about that you think she should avail herself of. So, Lisa, here's kind of a little treatment plan from Milan for you.
Well, we have to look at our past and understand the power of the early years. They call them the formative years for a reason. We're formed there, see? And as a child, I am helpless to resist the powerful influence of the adults in my life, my parents. I am dependent upon them. Yet if they're critical and if they're harsh, I'm in a situation where I need them, but I can't escape them. And so really there is fright without solutions, as one researcher said. And so if I don't go back and look at that history, acknowledge the reality of it, and take the time to go to people who specialize in historical therapies, i.e. attachment theorists and the people who do therapy with attachment in mind, and also trauma therapists who also were willing to look backwards into the things that have had monumental influence upon us and help us then grieve and pinpoint and work our way out of something by letting go of the past through grief and acknowledgement and even anger at the past. And those are important therapeutic steps.
And Milan, it doesn't always have to be like one big event, right?
Correct.
It can be little constant repetitive things that build up. It's cumulative trauma.
Right. Absolutely.
That we think, but I had a great family. But that that critical spirit in the house over and over and over again wears away at us.
Yes, it does.
It does. And it gets louder and louder the older you get.
Well,
all right,
it sticks.
I'm sending her Take Your Life Back. I'm going to go to Robin, Seattle, Washington, listens on a podcast. Glad she does. And anybody else, hold on. We've got another program to do, and I'll get to your call. Robin, how can we help you today?
Hi there. Thank you. I'm wondering, my husband's in a program for sexual addiction, and he sees a counselor once a week, and he's in a men's group once a week, processing group, and then he's been asked to go to like a 12-step or S&On 3 to 4 times a week. During this process, I've been going to a support group through like Avenue, using the New Choice. I forget the name of the book, but he's willing and able, interested in healing. He's also open to going to the Every Man's Battle workshop. I've probably read 6 or 8 books that you've all recommended, and every one I read has been helpful. Are the Every Man's Battle follow-up groups or the Men's Avenue groups a good substitute for the 12-step group, because he's very resistant to go to one? That's my main question.
These people are recommending 3 meetings a week. Is that right?
To start, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So usually that kind of meeting attendance is an indication it's a pretty serious problem. And if I wasn't fully committed to winning back the heart of my wife, I might say I don't like 12-step stuff, because then I don't have to go to so many meetings, because there are so many meetings that he can avail himself to. Here's what I would say. Nothing is a substitute for a secular Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting. I think he needs to be in those meetings for a year. If he would, here's what Every Man's Battle would do. If he would go to that, it would help him more. It would help. We've helped so many people it would give him a different way to look at it, but it would also help you to have more confidence that this thing's going to have a happy ending to it. And if you could go to Restore, that would help you also. But once he's through every man's battle, then we have brothers in the battle, and there is a long-term connection there where Christ is at the center, not so at Sex Addicts Anonymous, but those are still valuable meetings. So it's troubling that he's negotiating out of doing whatever anybody tells him to do to win your heart back. And I'm going to send you worthy of her trust also. Any comment here, Milan or Jill, for Robin as she's trying to weave her way through this?
Well, I think there's a lot of, and I'll be very brief, Robin, a lot of these groups focus on stop. And it's about the behavior and stopping, and now I'm 60 days sober, et cetera, et cetera. But I really favor groups that are about the why. Why do I turn to this as an addiction? What am I trying to relieve inside of me? What internal distress and chaos and malaise am I trying to medicate through this behavior? And I guarantee you there's pain that is being medicated in every single addiction. And as Steve said earlier on the show, we either learn to find relief through non-relational things, or we learn as adults to find relief relationally. And that is a different kind of a lifestyle. So it's about why versus stop. And finding a group that has a good hybrid mix of those two things is really important.
Yeah, it really is.
And may mean you have to go to two different types of groups. Right?
It may be.
Because one gives an external structure to follow, and the other is the internal work.
You need both. You really do, Jill. You're absolutely right.
So I'll send you Take Your Life Back. I'll send Worthy of Her Trust also. And, you need to be in Sex Addicts Anon, Sex Anon, or some kind of support, Codependency, A Life Recovery.
Codependence of Sex
COSA.
Addicts.
Yeah, really good stuff there. And I'm really glad that you called. Couple of things I want to mention to you. Northview Church here in Indy, my wife and I on the 25th of October start up our teaching of Take Your Life Back. Also, you can find out about that by going to northviewchurch.us. Also, we're going to do Every Man's Battle, and it's going to be amazing. It always is. And it comes up November the 1st in Orange County. Restore is the 15th of November in D.C., and then Milan and I are going to be doing Intimacy in Marriage, Columbus, Ohio, on the 25th. It's just amazing what can happen if you decide to get a better marriage. And all of us have areas to work on, and we reveal those. And most people that come, almost every person that comes, they're astounded at the insight that they leave there with. Doesn't matter why you're there. You'll be really glad that you are. Now, if you're struggling in some area of your life, whether it's addiction or anger, betrayal, codependency, grief, whatever it is, call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Maybe it's not a workshop you need. Maybe we've got a counselor in your area. There's a book that you could really benefit from. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now, when you call and thank us, we'll send you a gift of any amount. 100 Days of Healing, the daily devotional. It's part of a 4-part series. You decide to sign up for Club New Life, which is so helpful at $30 a month, and we'll send you all 4, which involves prayer, healing, character, and peace. Those are the 4, our way of saying thank you. And then a gift of $20, and I'll send you Kirby McCook and the Jesus Chronicles, and I will personally autograph it by name to the person you want, and we'll send it to you. After I autograph it. It's really fun making this. I make a note to each child saying, if you love this, or hope you love it. If you don't love it, please don't tell anybody. But anyway, it's a great way to get God's truth into the mind of a young person. We're going to do a program right now. Hang on the line or call us at 1-800-229-3000. Thank you, Dr. Jill Hubbard, Milan, Yerkovich. Thank you so much. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, call now. They're waiting.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800